Hey, come here, boy. There you go, stay with it. We're gonna switch, Compton, the two. Mitch, stay.
Fuck me.
There you go. Barrett.
Back door!
Bash is Bay Area street hockey, and there's nothing like it.
There's just years of aggressive, angry men running around playing hockey, which is ironic because it's a children's schoolyard.
This is the underlying premise of Bash.
We're talking January.
And-
We're mid-January
and drink
here.
beers.
A couple Canadians. Mid-January. Look at this.
Bash is my church. You know, it's not happening on Sunday, but it's happening on Saturday. It's you know, it's part of my life.
If I don't have Bash, then I'm no longer a hockey player. I'm not the same person.
The lick is Bash. Bash is the lick.
What I love about the lick is you'll never play on a similar space ever.
It has its own uniqueness, it has its own style.
With the grate in the middle and the benches and the high wall, the low wall.
This is like the Montreal form of road hockey.
Well, my name is Paul Quesada, and I'm the school principal at James Vick Middle School. We're undergoing a major renovation project. The wrinkle, so to speak, that is potentially affecting the organization is the installation of an elevator on the lower yard, which will probably likely impact the ring where the hockey organization usually sets up.
You know, if we can't play here, if we have to move, you know, either for next season or long term, it's definitely going to change the league, you know.
Yankees move out of Yankee Stadium, or, you know, Giants move out of the Stick. Something is lost there. There's something about the place that's pretty special.
I still think at the very worst, this is going to come back and there'll be an elevator over there and we can turn it this way. And all we got to do is figure out some kind of fence back here.
And no matter how they reconfigure this or where they move to, in my opinion, it'll no longer be the same league. It'll still be a really good league. It'll just be different.
It's as much about being here as it is about playing.
People didn't really, what, street hockey? What do you do? How do you play with? What do you do with?
I say I play outdoor on concrete, and we run. And they're like, and then they still ask, oh yeah, so you're on blades? Or I'm like, no, we're running on sneakers.
If you grew up in Chicago or Buffalo or New York or Boston or wherever, and it was summer and you wanted to play hockey, you played street hockey. Or if it was a winter day and it wasn't cold enough for the ice to be frozen, you played street hockey.
I fucking love hockey. I mean, it is the passion of my life outside my family.
This has got to be the most intense thing I do every week. Saturdays, best 20 weeks of the year.
For the many East Coast transplants, Midwest transplants, Canadian transplants who come to California, they want to stay connected to part of their upbringing, their roots.
I'm from Bratislava, Slovakia. I played organized ball hockey or street hockey in Slovakia since about age of 9.
Halifax, Nova Scotia. Everyone plays street hockey. It's kind of what you do. It's like playing catch.
From Simsbury, Connecticut. Grew up a diehard Hartford Whalers fan.
Philly, originally.
Buffalo, New York. Little small town, South Buffalo, Irish side, Orchard Park. Go Bills!
Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I am 46 now. There's a lot of guys that are older than me in the league, which is great to see and gives me hope. I wear 66, so I'm hoping that's my retirement age. When
Outside of Detroit, Michigan.
Originally from New York.
Played a little college hockey.
Literally had no hockey experience whatsoever except for NHL 15 and beyond for PlayStation, all those games. I'm from South Boston, Mass, Southie. I left in 1988, joined the Air Force, got stationed out in California, and that's kind of how I found Bash, and I've been playing here for 20 years since.
Well, I'm a lifetime Flyers fan. I grew up in Seattle and we didn't have a team, so I'd had somebody to root for when I was playing as a little kid, and I was like their rough and tumble style.
From Lafayette, California. I'm one of these local guys who didn't grow up playing hockey, thus the, not being very good at it.
Born and raised South San Francisco. I just liked watching Evgeny Nabokov I watched Nabby all day, and I would act like my big leather couch was a goal. And I would just do this all day in front of the TV as I watched Sharks games. And that's how it started.
Growing up in Canada, my favorite thing in the world was shinny. In Toronto, they used to flood all the tennis courts, and you'd show up the same way you show up for pickup basketball. You just have your stick and gloves, and you just play for hours. It was just heaven. And I think Bash reminds me of that in a sense, and that, like, it's being a kid all over again.
It becomes part of who you are. I mean, the sport, whether you're good at it or not, it's just, you get it.
Scored the fucking series-winning goal.
Yeah! Hold it up.
Yeah, boys.
We used to have to carry the boards all the way up the hill. Now it's a lot easier to keep it here at the lip.
Look at that.
So I went down there December of 1990, and that was just after my 26th birthday. For the first 2 years, I brought the boards there and back every day, and the boards were shitty then. They were wood, and they had splinters, and they had door hinges to keep them together.
I've been playing this league since it began back in, I think it was 1991. So year one, at the time I was 27 years old. Being that I'm 50 years old now, I've played Bash in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, and now my 50s. Currently live in both Palm Springs and Las Vegas, not actually in the Bay Area, but commute up to Bash for a bunch of games. It was like today, I actually flew up at 6:05 this morning, and I have to be on a plane at 1:55 out of here. There were about 100 of us, maybe a few less, and most of us had found the league through an ad in the Chronicle from a guy named Mitch Friedman who lived out the street from here on Army Street.
I've always referred to him as the godfather of Bash. He's the guy that made it all happen.
My name is Mitchell Friedman. I'm originally from West Islip, New York. I decided, you know, I really miss playing in a sport, and I really miss playing street hockey. And I was very specific about that because that's what I played growing up. And I just wanted to play on foot like I did in the street next to my house and even in gym in high school. I went out and scouted James Lick. I was like, okay, this looks good. You have to remember that this was before the Sharks were even existed, and hockey didn't really have a footprint out here. So I decided, well, how am I going to do that? Well, I'll just put the word out.
It's now called the outdoor section, but it was just the back page of the sports section, and then there would be like old school personal notes or something like that, and it said street hockey in Noe Valley at James Lick.
And I submitted an item for it, and I forgot about it. This is the Chronicle from October of '91. Bay Area Street Hockey invites players of all skill levels to participate in the weekly games on foot, not roller skates. And then all of a sudden I started getting, my phone started ringing a lot. And I was like, what is going on? And all these people were calling me about Bash, about this hockey league. Didn't even have a name then.
And all of a sudden there's like multiple people there, and we're like, we could form a team. We could form several teams and form a league.
And I remember Rob Cox says, well, gee, maybe we ought to just formalize this. So I said, all right, let's do it. And I think Rob came up with the name Bash, standing for Bay Area Street Hockey. And so Bash was born.
He got the whole ball rolling. He established the format for the league, the format for the draft.
We came up with rules for the draft in terms of order and such, and how much time you had, and so on and so forth, and you could protect so many players, and these all evolved. It wasn't by dictate. It came from the ground up as it needed to.
It's like fantasy football or baseball or whatever, where you pick the guys, and there's a draft and trades and protected lists, and I mean, it's really insane.
Because of how the league is structured and how players move around in between teams, it really builds a lot of camaraderie. A player who was your enemy in year one, now suddenly you're on the same team as him in year two, and that makes a big difference. I've made a lot of good friends that way.
We had our initial season with and I prepared the schedule, and I did statistics in the beginning and faxed them out every week to people.
Mitch was not a good hockey player. He had a lot of effort.
I played wing, I played defense, and I played goalie. Yeah, at one point I was traded more than anybody else. They called me Suitcase.
The first time I was working late here on a Saturday, and I noticed that there were these adults in the yard, in the playground area, using the yard playing hockey. And it wasn't just a bunch of people, let's get together and go play hockey. It was a pretty well organized little situation. I mean, the ring was all set up, there were pads throughout. It was quite interesting, and I had to actually send a quick text to the previous administrator and say, hey, can you tell me what's going on? I'm at work right now and I see a bunch of grown-ups outside playing hockey, and it seems pretty organized. And so then she said, oh yes, I forgot to tell you, this is an organization that's been a part of James Lick Middle School for quite some time.
Jay, I think, is still the only one to get kicked out of a season.
I have the distinction of being the only guy to have been thrown out of Bash in that first year for 2 fights. One against the entire Land Sharks team bench, started by Alan Palter hitting me on the back of the legs.
His memory of it's probably better than mine. Sort of prided myself into baiting Jay into some extracurricular activity. Since Jay was a better player than me, if I could get him off the ice, that was a win-win for my team.
And then the second one with Tom Need from the Flames, who I think I hit him 3 times and then realized I was in trouble because I didn't even budge him. And we later became pretty good friends.
Late in the third period of the second game of the finals, he took a high stick to his face, which caused a broken, not to mention an extremely bloody nose. After some quick repair work by Dr. Bill, he returned to action in overtime and scored the winning goal that gave the Killer Whales the championship! I think what happened was, the teacher was trying to lift my stick, and he missed, and like the end of his blade went straight into my nose and just hammered it. It was broken right away. I remember my then girlfriend, now wife, Ellen, was like, you should really go to the doctor. And I was like, fuck that, we're celebrating. And actually it wasn't until like 5 years ago I went and, because I started snoring from the nose injury, I went and got it fixed. So I had a broken nose for years from that, but it was all worth it. We won the championship.
I moved out here from Chicago. My wife is from Marin County, and she had all her friends, and when I first moved here, most of my friends were the boyfriend or husband or whatever of her friends, or just her friends. And then when I came to Bash, that gave me, it was like, hey, I have this circle of friends that isn't my work friends, it isn't my girlfriend's friends, it's friends because we have a similar interests, because we love hockey, we love competing, and we like to party a little bit.
Not sure how he did it, but his early vision for the league, pulling it together, the way he structured it, I think any other structure, had he created any other structure, I'm not sure that the league would still be around today.
I just wanted to play. That was really, it was purely selfish. I just wanted to play.
Yeah. Watch out! Hey! Blow it out, Reds, blow it out! Speed him to it!
You know, I think there's the right sort of level of familialness to it because the guys are moving around on the teams, because we have sort of our end of the year parties and we have this way of running the league that's independent. It's an independently run league, so there's no connection to like USA Hockey. It's self-refereed, it's self-policed. We have our own rule book. Stats are, you know, kept track of over time, and there's trophies for being MVP, and you know, there's sort of there's a story, there's a narrative, there's a history that matters.
What do you love about this league?
The camaraderie, people, competition, and how you could be absolutely a dirty SOB in the corner with one guy 1 minute and then sitting on the wall drinking a beer with him afterwards. And I did plenty of both.
It's unique in rec leagues anywhere, whether it's hockey or softball or even fucking bowling.
You don't just bring a team into the league. You come into the league as an individual, you get drafted onto a team, and you may be playing with 15 strangers, all of whom become fairly close friends pretty quickly.
I don't know if this is the end of Bash, at least at the Lick or whatever. My wife has hated every minute of it. My kids, I leave them behind since I played before I had kids, and now I have kids, and but it's been my sanctuary on Saturdays, and it's been fantastic, and I'm so glad for this league, and hopefully it continues, but if it doesn't, it's been an outstanding, great run. So thanks a lot for having me, Bash. Is that good?
Let's wait, get back.
Oh, you're gonna go back? Sorry. Yeah, any questions? Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't ask you anything.
Yeah, I figured I had a monologue. I had 4 beers in me, so I figured I could just talk for a while.
If you ask people when you're not at Bash, how much do you think about Bash? I bet they would say they think, a lot of guys think about Bash every day.
We all look forward to this throughout the week, to the Saturday when we beat each other up, we play a sport we love, and then the whistle blows and then we drink beers with each other. Does it get any better than that?
Outrun them, get the ball deep, no mistakes out of our end.
Pretty obvious here what we need to do to win this game, and that's get balls at the net.
Let's come out fucking flying. There's no loose balls they get to before us, okay? Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Hey, green. 1, 2, 3. Red. Bruins on 3. 1, 2, 3. Brown. Black.
Fuck the guys.
Oh, they're just fun-loving and very wonderful to have. I mean, they're so enthusiastic and ambitious, and they're just so much fun to be around. We support it totally. We just hope that it'll stay forever. They all have that spirit. They have tremendous spirit. They like their cerveza. And also, Mother Nature, they need the bathroom. You know, it goes together. You put it in, it comes out.
There's a lot of characters. I mean, you got 90 to 110 guys in the league every year, and there's been a lot of different people through here.
That's the great thing about Bash, is you have a whole bunch of different personalities and skill levels, and you have guys who, you know, played in the lower levels of the minor leagues in the NHL, and then you have guys who lived a block away and thought it sounded fun.
You got to start with Tom Moon. He was an original SEAL.
He would be there before the first game, even if he wasn't playing in the first game, and he would get the broom out and he would sweep the surface and make it nice for people.
The guy Moon once broke my stick because he got so upset. He took my stick and slashed it on the ground and broke it.
I remember that. I think he thought I was kind of a nutbag, and maybe I was. And I think, I don't want to say he was afraid of me, but I think I sort of traumatized him a little bit with that, with a bunch of crazy guys that play bash. But yeah, it was all in the name of competition and trying to win those games. Doosan, yeah.
We had this guy named Sporty that come in and just wanted to fight every week. He lasted about a season, then everybody gets sick of him and told him to go away.
Yeah, Greg Papana would throw up like in between shifts into a garbage can.
We've got Jordan Ritter, who I think is 100 years old, and even though he does his little golf swing, he still scores goals.
I'm 59 years old. It's the 24th year of my bash career.
Jordan, I swear, stick's always up around my head, so always got to be careful of those guys.
In 45 years, I've never hit anybody with it.
Remember one time he clipped Tyler Kapinti in the face with it. Yeah, you didn't want to stand near Jordan.
The golf shot is not illegal.
But yeah, that golf shot should have been illegal from day one. They should say that's ridiculous.
And how long have you been playing in this league?
For a long time. I think when it started, 1991. Although I missed some time, I left and went back to Philadelphia. And so at 91 to 94, and then 2000 till now. That's my wife over there, Tanya, and we have a 6-month-old son now. So that's a big change. This is the 3 hours I get all week long, basically, to not be either working on the job or working on the second job, taking care of the kid.
But your wife still it's still okay for you to get your 3 hours.
That takes some negotiating, but yeah.
When you first met and he would come out here, what was his day like on Saturdays?
He would be out here all day.
And now that you have a child in your life, what do his Saturdays look like?
Same.
Eddie Parsons, the very first time I played him. I'm sure Eddie's come up a lot of times.
Fast Eddie Parsons. I almost beat him up in a bar. It was Buffalo, of course, his team against Philly in the playoffs, and that's when I met him. And then after we reconciled that, we became good friends, and then he, introduced me to the league.
I just remember my first game against Yellow when I was on Black, and him and I were just going after each other, non-stop all game, John after each other. He did threaten me at the beginning of the game, saying he's going to kill me. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatnot. And I was just crossing the blue line, had my head down. He rocked me. It was a great hit.
That's the best hit I ever had in my life, including like ice hockey. No way. You put a top flight on a tee, I'm going to hit it. I told him I was going to hit him on the ice that day, and I hit him. But then in the Vegas tournament, as soon as somebody came and hit him, I was the first guy on his back, and first guy pounded some guy for hitting him. So that's the spirit, right? I compete. I am the youngest of 7 kids. I fought every day, every minute of my life, dirty and hard. But I don't know. I'm definitely not the most stable guy. I'm working on it. Still feel bad about all the things I've done that maybe were a little dirty. Donnie Bateman, I'm sorry I hit you in the wall that one time. Davey J, I'm sorry I spit at you my rookie year. I was a little bit, excitable. Adelson, sorry I was a cock to you pretty much every time you were on the ice.
One of the rookies said, that Eddie Parsons, I thought he was an asshole. And I said, many a rookie have spoke those words over the over the years. And but yeah, you hang out with him for 20 minutes in a bar, and your mind has changed.
Bash, the guys that I play with Bash, good, bad, and different. I'd love to have a beer with you, certainly before I die. Just to toast the good, toast the bad, and it would be great if we could find a Florida retirement community that would buy the Charlestown Chiefs so we can all go watch the game. Because I think that would be a pretty good complex. Shuffleboard, hot old blue hairs, screw bingo, let's just play Bash.
I think we're going to talk about Bash. We got to mention Jeff Sywall.
Right now, this is pretty much my life. I'm unemployed. So, I come out here to hang out with people. I go out and see music sometimes during the week, but there's every Saturday I know I'm going to be here. I like to think that I'm, a fairly decent ref.
I think he's the worst ref I've ever seen in my life.
Try not to pick favorites on anybody.
I hate the fact that he desperately with a passion hates Blue and just would do anything to see us lose, and is open and admits it.
I hate Blue. Yes, I hate Blue, like, with a passion. No, there would be absolutely no reason why I hate Blue. I'm not going to say John Quick is full of shit, but, you know, he's close to it.
Why are you out here doing this? Why do you like to ref?
Well, I have a happy marriage, and so coming out here and being called a douchebag is really what my life is about.
Well, no. Explain me, what was I called for? Me, specifically.
You were pushing with Wong after the whistle. I said to stop.
The guy went on me, I put a hand like that. You know what? You're picking on me on every single call. I cannot even go to the net. Yes, that's what I feel like. That's the bullshit.
It's not true.
That's the bullshit.
I'm here because I love the league, because somebody's got to fucking do it. And you know, maybe I'm bad, but I'm consistently bad in the same ways.
Back away, everybody. Oh, hey, Henry, everybody back away. Hey. That's bullshit. Don't fucking dive on that fucking shit. You know what? But don't play around. Hey, back away. I'll fucking give you both off for fucking stuff. I agree. I would have called the rough and the obstruction. I'm going to let it go. Enough penalties. Let's go. Let's play hockey.
That's the one thing about Bash, is that the refs got so much abuse that they did not deserve. It's hard. If you ever refed, you would know how hard it is. But a lot of the guys who would do the most yapping hardly ever refed.
Can you imagine Bash going on in year 25 without it happening at the lip?
My feeling is it's going to have to be here or it won't exist at all. You know, everybody will go back to doing something else on Saturdays and that. But I'm pretty sure we'll work out something and be back here next year.
On weekdays, I'm a graphic designer.
I am a fundraiser for a local nonprofit. I ask people for money.
I am an ABA therapist, so I tutor kids with autism.
I'm an architect.
I own art galleries.
I'm a high school English teacher in the East Bay.
I'm an attorney.
I sell auto parts. Software engineer. This big guy right here.
I played with Jared on Red, like, since I joined the league, and he's like looking for a job, and I was like, well, we're looking for smart people, so I don't know, I've never worked with you, but you're a good hockey player, therefore you must be a good software engineer. So you should go interview. So he did, and then the rest is history.
I'm chef and a restaurateur, so I own my own restaurant. Kind of fell into it in high school, just cooking, and I really enjoyed it. And I worked at this French restaurant, and really high end. And I was like, something was in the oven. I was like, "What's that in the oven? Rising?" And they're like, "That's a souffle." And I was like, "That's wild," you know. So kind of got into it that way. And I went to culinary school right out of high school. Didn't really have any direction, and just totally fell in love with it. And most Saturdays you'll find me here at night, but you'll also find me at the lick in the morning. I make time. I make time for that. It's my sanity. My crew knows it too. And if there's ever like a Saturday that I have to be there, or a Sunday for a playoff, I will have to close the restaurant if I don't have enough staff or something. And you might think I'm kidding, I'm not.
Probably my favorite Bash memory is a Bash memory where I wasn't even on the court or at the game. The morning my first son was born was game 2 of the finals in 2010, and I wasn't there, and Green won. And I remember the insanity that is having a child, mixed in with having to tell my team that I couldn't be there for the game, mixed in with thoughts of, well, maybe I can go for a little bit, I don't know how long this is gonna take, mixed in with some guilt for even having that thought. You shouldn't be thinking such things. This is a child versus running around with hockey sticks. It's not even comparable. Then finding out later on, they won the game, they won the championship. My baby was born, he was healthy. We joked around about calling him Seal Jr. So that probably my favorite memory. It wasn't even there.
Okay, first of all, the first year you come here when you got no kids, no family, you play an 11 o'clock game. You come here at 9, drink beer, it's like you're in college. Drink coffee, read the sports page, play your 11 o'clock game. Then from 1 to 3, sit there and drink beer, and you're here for 7 hours.
Everybody's hanging on a Saturday for sometimes 12 hours, 15 hours. You have a 9 o'clock game and then close down a bar at 2 o'clock. And there was a time, like the early days of Bash, when actually all of our girlfriends, many of whom became wives, would actually come down and sit on the wall, and and then at some point they're like, fuck that, you're on your own.
Back in the old days, we used to all, of course, when a lot of us were younger and single, we'd go down the Rat and Raven after the game, and you'd just see guys from all 6 teams sitting there drinking.
Yeah, crazy stuff happens. The Twin Peaks, Rat and Raven, the Dubliner, we've all had plenty of our guys thrown out or do something insane that you would never do anywhere else.
Just the other day, I was driving by what used to be the Albion bar, which is right there, Albion and 16th, right in the heart of the Mission. It was after we won the championship, I don't know what year that was, maybe it was 95, and a bunch of us were wound up there at closing time. There was this guy, he comes in, and almost looked like a male model. He was like a pretty boy, and he was using a payphone back when we used to use payphones. And he slammed the phone down really hard, and Rich Weber, being a wise ass from New York, said, "Hey, why don't you try another sex hotline number?" Unbeknownst to us, that guy was with a posse of like 10 guys, and they had been, I think it was 8 or 9 guys who'd been waiting for us. And next thing I know, Smitty and one of their guys is like duking it out on the hood of this pickup truck right there. I remember I got a message from Smitty later. He's like, "Hey Ben, just want to see how you're doing. That was cool. That was good male bonding, huh? That was a good street brawl." It's like kind of crazy days of bash after a championship.
The best bash player?
It's probably Z. I hate to say that because nobody likes him.
That would be Z. He's a fucking monster.
Matt Zielinskis. I mean, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name.
The S is before the K. It always makes it tough. Zielinskis.
It's Z-I-N-K is the way we spell it.
Z-L-I-N-S-K-S. Is that right?
Steroids. Oh, sorry. The record in the league for goals was, I think, 20 or 21 by Broween a couple times. Z come in the first year in the league, he scored 50. So that just shows you how much better he was in real.
He's over 40 and he's still fucking rocking it here.
He takes it so seriously. He's so competitive about it.
He's also kind of a chippy player. I mean, you have to watch out for him. He's dangerous with his stick.
Fucking devastating shot. You see that big windup coming, and it could curve this way, it could curve that way, it could go, it could do a fucking change up.
I grew up in Canada playing hockey every single day, either ice hockey or road hockey. That's what you did. You played road hockey. We call it road hockey in Canada every day. I was fortunate enough to play junior hockey and then go play at Princeton. And then afterwards I played 3 years in the minor leagues in Europe, and I swear it is one of the most competitive things I've ever come across in my life. And I think that's what fuels this league after almost a quarter century. There is such an intense desire to win this thing right here.
When Matt came into the league, he made the whole league better.
I'd certainly say he's the best player I've ever played with here at Bash.
Z can't play forever, at least we don't think so.
You're up.
I think it is more, it's more than a rec league. It's more than a beer league. People do actually want to win.
We're not losing this game. Let's fuck it. We gotta do something here. Step up, everybody!
You know, you've been through an entire regular season now. This is your rookie. Is it more competitive than you thought? Less competitive? What did you?
You know, it's good. Because you know when you're being, I've been there. You know what I mean? Oh, it's hard. Then it's even more frustrating when there's no retaliation. I think we're still buddies. We'll see. Still pretty hairy. I thought it'd be a little bit more rec fun, but as you see, it's not.
You retired or stopped in 1998, so after 8 years. And why did you?
Sure. Well, I was playing less and less on the teams I was on, and that was a reflection certainly of the increased talent in the league and my own ability. And I was like, you know, if I'm gonna be on a team, I want to play. And I could see that it's by nature a competitive sport, but I just wanted to play, even though I wasn't very good. In a way, it reminded me of growing up, because I played sports growing up, and I wasn't very good. And when you're not good, you don't play.
As players get older or their skill decreases, you know, you want to stay in the league. That's part of the benefit of being a vet. On the other hand, I shouldn't play all the time, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's not fucking Little League.
Have you ever won a championship? I've never won a championship.
We've won it 10 times. and we've lost it 4 times. So 14 years, 10 championships, but we've been in the finals 10 years in a row.
I may never win one. I hope so, though. I mean, it's that's what I'm focused on. You know, in addition to having fun and enjoying it, I really want to win a championship.
First time. Yeah!
Do you miss it?
I definitely miss it. It's a fun thing to do on Saturday mornings, and I've replaced it with other things, but nothing will be the same as Bash. Bash was an extremely unusual situation to have in your life. I think everyone should have something like that in their life if they can.
I'm married because of Bash, because of the people I know in Bash. Ryan Crowley, a great teammate of mine from Boston. His wife worked with my wife. They knew each other. They introduced us. The 2 kids I have with Tiffany, their godparents are both Bash. Eddie Parsons and Mikey P are my kids' godparents. So you get more than just a hockey team out here. You get friends for life out here.
It's not often you meet people who become friends for life. That's not like something that happens every day.
The bonds that you make here at the Lick that have really seeped into every aspect of my life.
I mean, Johnny Rogers tried to put my head on the wall, and 3 seconds later we're shaking hands and saying good game, and I think that's the beauty. It's just, a bunch of guys having a good time.
There's so many people that I really want to fucking kill in Bash, but like outside of Bash, they're the greatest guys I have a beer with.
There we go.
It's an interesting question. Haven't had a whole lot of time to think about it.
Bash has always been that thing that no matter how busy I was during the week, no matter how hard you're working during the week, you knew you had a hockey game to look forward to on Saturday morning.
Sort of have to see it to believe it and experience it to really understand it. It's just part of, it's a real important part of my life here in San Francisco.
I want to keep playing as long as I can. You have to drag me off, or you have to build an elevator in my rink to get me to stop playing.
I love hockey and I'll never stop playing, so this is just a weird twist on it all.
I just won't give it up, and I have no regrets.
If I could do it forever, I would.
For 24 years, people have been coming back, and when you ask them, hey, why don't we go find another place to play? The first reaction they have is, no, let's try to stay at the Lick. That speaks volumes about the community and just what Bash means to everybody.
It made California my home rather than just some guy who just moved here.
It's kind of comfort for me. At 50 years old, I think I'd have aged a lot more if I wasn't playing continually in a league like this.
It's kind of cool. It's amazing, I think. It really is. Yeah, almost 25 years. Hope it doesn't go away.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, period!
Beer 30.